Hello, I'm Deniz Kayadelen. Now I'm living in Switzerland. Originally, I'm from Turkey, and I'm a 6-time world champion in ice swimming, Guinness World Record holder, and the best-selling author of the book Out of Comfort Zone. Because I believe out of comfort zone is the place where magic happens. And today I will share with you my latest methodology, which I really practiced the past 20 years of my life, which helped me to reach my peak performance. I will show you the methodology. I will share with you the methodology from fear to peak flow. So, are you ready to find your inner peak? And not just peak, but in a flow situation. And maybe you are now asking, what does mean peak? What does mean flow? What does mean peak flow? So many abstract terms, maybe which you think, it doesn't make any sense or it's not concrete enough. And in this speech, I will share with you the definition and how you can get there. Are you ready? So, first of all, I would like to share my individual story, because maybe you're thinking, okay, she's a world champion, she break a world record, she's a psychologist, a best-selling book author, so yeah, it sounds too perfect, but yeah, life is not so perfect sometimes. And you know what? My story comes from a place of vulnerability, from a place of traumata, from a place of fear. And now I will be really honest with you. When I was 11, my parents get divorced. I grew up and born in Germany, and then I moved with my mom to Turkey. It was a really traumatic situation for me. Can you imagine? With 11, you need to change your country, the language, everything. Everything is new. You are completely out of your comfort zone. And in this time, I started to swimming. Swimming became my new home. It became my new anchor point. No matter how turbulent the outside life was, swimming was for me more a calm, a peaceful space. And my name is Deniz, and maybe you know it from Turkish, it means sea. So I literally, identified myself with my name, sea. In the water, I felt home. And why I'm telling you this, because in these ages, my dream was crossing the English Channel, swimming from England to France, but it's a cold, freezing cold water. And I continued swimming, I continued practicing, and when I was 20, I attended a swimming race in the sea. The sea was so cold that 80% of the swimmers went out. I wanted still swimming. I was in the water. I was too focused, too in my flow moment, but ignored all my body symptoms. What at the end happened? After 2 hours, I found out myself in the hospital. So with the electrical blanket, I lost my mind, I lost my consciousness, and this syndrome is called hypothermia. So I literally suffered from hypothermia. And as you can imagine, the cold water was my fear zone. It wasn't definitely my comfort zone. And I was so traumatized of this experience that I stopped swimming in the cold. I continued with warm water races, pool races, but I was so freaked out of cold water that I even didn't had cold water showers in my home. From this place of having fear, of having a traumata, now I can tell you that I transformed my fears year by year, day by day. I even studied psychology. I did my master in business psychology. I had a coaching formation. I did everything for my personal growth and for my personal career, which I could use again for my swimming career. And now, after years, after days, after months, I transformed my biggest fear into my biggest strength. And now I'm holding a Guinness World Record for the highest altitude ice swimming in the world. So, can you imagine that? And can you imagine that you transform your biggest fear into your biggest strength? Imagine how the world would be if you could transform your biggest fear into your biggest strength, how free would you feel? How happy would you feel? And this is your inner peak. Your inner peak means that you reach a point where you feel, wow, this is my self-actualization. This is my self-realization place. This is a place where I overcome my fear. I overcome my own doubts. I overcome my own limiting beliefs. And I achieved my dream, my life dream. So this means reaching your inner peak. And many people think the inner peak means, being in the best position in your company, crossing the English Channel, being on Mount Everest. Yes, it is your peak. But what is more important to reach this peak is that it should be in a flow. Why it should be in a flow? I'm coaching so many CEOs, leaders all over the world. They are on their peak. They are successful. They are rich. They have everything what you can dream of. But at the end, why they come to coaching? They have sleepless nights. They have still fears to lose their success. They have burnout syndromes to maintain their peak. They do more and more and more compared to what they want to do to reach this peak. So it is an exhausting process. It is out of comfort zone, but it's not a peaceful out of comfort zone. It's an exhausting out of comfort zone, which comes with symptoms, which comes with negative consequences for mental health, for physical health, for emotional health. They have sleepless nights. They have burnout. They say, yes, I'm successful, but I have still my anxieties. And this is for me not the definition of peak flow. It's a peak, yes. But imagine that you are reaching your peak in a flow state. And what does mean flow state? Flow state means that you are in your own peace zone, in your own flow, where everything flows in one direction. You know this is your purpose, this is your target. And you go there no matter what happens, no matter who is resisting. You have still the power, you have still the motivation, you have still the inner voice to continue, to not give up, with persistence, with passion, with love. And the more you do that, the more you follow your dreams, the more you are in your flow zone. Time is not important anymore. The effort you put in is not important anymore. The pain you feel is not important anymore, because you know the pain, the discomfort, the consequences are part of the game to reach your biggest dream. And your inner world looks peaceful, despite all the waves, despite all the storms. You feel connected with yourself, with the universe. Imagine this kind of state. While you are climbing the mountains, while you are crossing the channels, while you're reaching your inner peak, imagine that you are in your own flow zone, in your inner peace zone, in your inner joy zone. Imagine that you feel still comfortable in a discomfort situation. And I can tell you a lot of these stories in my ice cold swim trainings, in my cold trainings, where I needed to swim more than 5-6 hours below 15 degrees, where I needed to jump into 2-3 degrees of freezing water in order to attend the World Championship in ice swimming. Was it comfortable? No. Was it easy? No. Was it all everyday joyful? No. But what I learned in this process was you can learn to have comfort and discomfort. You can learn to have joy and big challenges, still enjoying the moments, because you know it's connected with your bigger purpose, with your higher self. And of course, this methodology will change your life, not just in these 10-15 minutes of my speech. But if you do this, if you follow this methodology in your life, I can guarantee you, you will reach your peak flow. And of course, to reaching your peak flow, you need always a support system. I knew this theoretically, I studied psychology, but still, in every stage of my life, I needed a support. I have a coach, I have a psychologist, I have a mental coach, I have a hypnotherapist, I have a physiotherapist, I have sparring partners, swimmers, mentors. Without all these people, maybe I couldn't reach my peak flow. So I educated myself. I did my self-awareness work, but I knew that when I'm just in my mind, me, myself, my body, in my self-optimization and training, I will not reach this peak point. To reach your peak point, you need visionary people, you need experts next to you who can support you. And this is also my realization, what I really can recommend to you. So listen carefully, the methodology, and then think carefully how, when you can implement which step of this, with whom, who is your support system. The first step of reaching your peak performance is to having the awareness of yourself, the awareness of your pain, the awareness of what is holding you back. My biggest fear was cold water. Cold water held me back for 10 to 15 years. After 10-15 years, I could decide to cross the English Channel. I could decide to join the World Championships in ice swimming. I could decide to train, to start having cold showers. So what is holding you back? And now I'm the founder of my own company. After 15 years of Big Four consulting, management consulting, I had a really high position in Switzerland. I quit my full-time job and now doing my own full-time work. With passion, with love. So I stepped many times out of my comfort zone. I had many times magical moments in my life. So I'm really practicing what I'm preaching. And I'm happy to share those experiences with you right now. And what I can tell you is you need to be aware. You need to confront yourself. What is holding you back? What is holding you back? What would you do if you wouldn't have any fear? What are your main 2, 3, 4, 5 fears? What are your main 2, 3, 4, 5 limiting beliefs? Write it down. Write it down. What is holding you back? Having an awareness of that. And secondly, having an awareness of your goal, of your purpose, of your dream. What are you dreaming of? What would you like to achieve? Where do you see yourself in a few years? What is your North Star? This awareness is so important. I will come back to those phases, to this awareness part. But first, I would like to share with you the 4 main pillars to reach your peak flow, to reach your peak performance in your flow zone. First, the most classical one, physical endurance, right? If I wouldn't have physical endurance, I couldn't cross the English Channel, I couldn't go to Nepal, 18 days walk day and night and break the world record. Of course, you need to be physically fit. And even if you are not an athlete, if you are a manager, a leader, a CEO, even not having time to do sports, it's not a reason why you shouldn't stay still fit physically. A physical fit body means a physical fit mental health, better concentration, better time management, better self-management. So no matter what you do, even if you are not an athlete, you need to have physical endurance. You need to take care of your sleep, of your eating patterns, of your physical performance, of your concentration, of your focus. This is physical. Even when you're just sitting and thinking, you are losing weight, you are burning calories because your brain is burning a lot of calories. So physical endurance is important. Second pillar of your peak performance is mental endurance, mental focus. Of course, you need to have a strong mindset. You need to have a strong growth mindset. seeing challenges as opportunities, seeing negativity as positive sign of your individual growth. I wrote my best-selling book in lockdown while I was in South Africa. I was as an expat in South Africa, and I was in lockdown suddenly in Johannesburg, and I didn't know what to do with myself. After 3 days of depression, of frustration, I said, okay, now it's time to turn the frustration, the negative pain, into a creative energy. And I started to writing my book. So this is the mental part, right? You can have mind games and getting depression and frustration, or you can turn it to a positive way, to a positive energy, to a creative energy to create something. So that means, are you most of the time the victim or the creator? We spoke about first physical endurance, second mental endurance, and the third one, of course, emotional endurance, emotional strength. Your inner motivation, your inner dedication, your inner passion. If you are not passionate about anything, forget it. You will not get successful as you want. You will be not the number one. You need to have a beautiful connection from your heart to your purpose, to your dream, to what you do. In order to activate your joy zone, you need to love it. You need to be with your whole heart. You need to be there. If you are not there with your heart, if you are not there with the emotional motivation, with your inner will power, you will not reach this point. This inner willpower, this inner love, this inner motivation will give you every day a reason, every day a motivation to stand up, to show up even if you are tired, to show up even if you are ill, to show up even if it's dark, to show up even if it's stormy, rainy. Do you understand me? You need something which is pushing you. And this pushy, strong support doesn't come from the outside world. It will not come from the support system. It will come from emotional endurance. The fourth pillar. This is a pillar which not everyone is speaking about, but I will speak today with you about this fourth pillar. And this is the spiritual energy, the spiritual endurance. You can be ready, you can train every day, you can concentrate yourself with meditation every day, you can be motivated every day. But if you do not believe in a bigger system, bigger than you, if you not believe to the universe that's holding your back, if you not believe in having faith, then you will be not getting there. Because it will be hard. There will be hard times where you want to give up. And in those hard times, when you want to give up, the spiritual energy, this sense of purpose, this spirit will make you continue. When I crossed the English Channel, how many hours I was non-stop swimming? 15 hours. Can you imagine? I was in 16, 17 degrees of cold water. I swam 15 hours. The first hours, it was so cold. I motivated myself mentally. I used my physical strength. After 6-7 hours, I saw France. After 8-9 hours, France disappeared because of the tides, the high tide. I drifted back to England. At this point, I had the emotional support from my friend. He came into the water. At this point, my trainer pushed me mentally. But after 10 hours, pushing myself hard and hard, I started to become anxious. I couldn't breathe. I breathed like that, and I had really fear of dying, fear of just sinking in the water. And at this moment, my spiritual coach was on the boat with me. She started to meditate, and she activated as an anchor point my inner faith. And this is so important. Without this spiritual energy, maybe I would stop crossing the English Channel. If you would like to be number one, if you would like to reach your peak flow, you need to work on those 4 pillars. You are as strong as those weakest point of the pillar. Don't forget this. You are as strong as the weakened point of this pillar. You need to work on all these 4 pillars. And how we get there, how we can get there. The first step is, of course, being aware of what's holding you back. Your fears, your limiting beliefs. The second one is dream boldly. What if you would stop, if you wouldn't have any fear in your life? Dream boldly. You need to have a vision, you need to have a clear purpose. And after having that, step 3, you need to step out of your comfort zone. How easy is that? Fear it, do it anyway. Out of comfort zone, feel the out of comfort zone feeling, the discomfort, do it anyway. Feel comfortable in discomfort. Every day, do something what is stretching your comfort zone. Every day, what is stretching your mind, your body, your soul, where you grow. Because when you step out of comfort zone, you are activating your growth zone. And the fourth step is embracing the discomfort. Even if you feel discomfortable, enjoy it. Try to enjoy, try to activate a different mindset. Try to activate your inner power, your emotions, your soul, and believe that the universe has your back. There's a reason why you have this goal. There is a reason why you are working towards this goal. And the last step is your peak flow. The peak flow is the joy zone. It's the enlightenment zone. It's the love zone where you love what you do. It's the biggest, highest part of the Maslow pyramid, hierarchical pyramid. It's the enlightenment. It's the self-actualization. It's the peak flow. You are on your peak while you are on your flow, while you're loving what you do. You are happy. You are healthy, not just mentally, physically, soul-wise. You are whole. Imagine that you reach the state. Take care. I wish you many more magical moments in and out of your comfort.